Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about how I draw noses and give you a bit of tutorial on it. So originally I started out wanting to draw noses very realistic. I was looking for inspiration in Saruka Tepes, and then I started to change my mind and veer more into the drawings of Ayups and this one other person I just found who's like blowing me out of the water with their art, called Bird Blood. Now before we get into the tutorial, I would like to let you know about two new products in my shop. I have my sketchbook, it's free to purchase, but you can donate money if you want to, and I also have a new brush pack that's out. The link is in the description as always, and if you'd like a dedicated video to that brush pack, please let me know and I will make one. Now let's get into the tutorial slash warm-up exercise, not warm-up exercise, just in general exercise with me. I currently draw noses like I think in much more of a simplified way, and a lot of what I really felt I was missing is the depth of like the planes of the nose. So I decided to start off with the warm-up, just showing what I normally do. So I always draw the nostrils and the septum, and then also the bridge of the nose, and I always want to indicate the different shapes, and I think that most of what the nose is held in, like most of the different nose shapes are held in the way the nostrils are shaped, how wide they are, how small they are, and then if the nose, that top of the nose, what is that called? The apex of the nose, that is also a different area that I also want to highlight more, so that's what I was looking for in my studies. I decided to try to draw celebrities because I thought they were all going to have different unique shapes, but then it kind of became hard. So some of the celebrities' noses, I was like going to do like a guessing game, but I ended up drawing like 22 noses, and I don't even remember which references I was using half the time, even though I saved them in a board. But I know that I did Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, that guy with the unique nose, John. How do you say his last name? John. I decided to do a lot of other people as well. I think I did Scarlett Johansson, and I realized I probably should have done somebody else now that I say it, and then the name immediately left my mind. That's actually crazy. I actually thought the speed paint was going too slow, so I sped it up. But basically when I did the second nose study, I was like, this is too simple, I'm not challenging myself, and so I tried to like add more depth with the shading and everything, but I think later on I like fix it up a little bit better. But yeah, I was keeping in mind how the other people draw the noses. Sometimes I think the main reason why I want to draw noses more in depth is to distinguish the difference between my characters, and also when I'm doing a bunch of stylization. I cut out some of the studies I didn't really like as much. Sorry about any background noise. So then I started to try to add a bit more detail to the studies to make it fun and to make the pages look nice. I don't really know, like a lot of times I see people do studies and I think they're really fun. And so I'm always like, oh, I want to make my page look interesting and aesthetic. But I always see posts that are like, art is for blah blah blah, art's for drawing, art is for, it's not for being pleasing to the eye in all this way. Like sketchbooks are for sketching and studying is for studying, and you don't have to. And I still have that, like I'm fighting that spirit within me. So yeah, so then I started to color certain studies I did. So let's talk a little bit more about how I draw noses. So I've told you what I do, right? I draw the two nostrils. I tried to highlight, like, you know how like there's like the thick part and then it thins out? I tried to highlight where the thick parts are and where the thin parts are with a few strokes, and then I try to highlight the bridge of the nose, and then also what I really was missing was basically communicating the tip of the nose and where the shadows fall from it. So I realized that I can use the skin a little bit more to highlight the axis of the nose, or the apex of the nose rather, and that's what I ended up focusing on. And especially when I was adding colors, I realized how I can do that more. I think I really stray away from paying attention to the nose because I want to have a simplified style, but I'm also trying to effectively communicate to, to the audience and viewers of my art who I am portraying, or rather, what the person I'm portraying looks like. And this was becoming a problem in my simplification. Somehow I had simplified all the details that I felt I could no longer effectively communicate what I wanted to, but when it comes to other areas of my art, for example, props and environment, I haven't even begun to figure out how to simplify. I don't even know how I did it for this, but I'm knowing how to add things back in, which is so weird because I think to truly advance in your art career, you do need to know how to do both skills, and I just think I didn't take a record of how I did the simplification the first time. I'm continuing to do studies. Yeah, I end up doing 22 and we're only on 10, and I think this is Zendaya's nose. I was really paying attention to the fact that her nose is a bit wider and her nostrils are not what you see. You more see the skin, and that's what illustrates the nose. And then I was also paying attention to like face angles and all this stuff. I was really getting in my head about placing the nose on the face, even though I was just supposed to focus on like drawing the nose. It was so funny to me. I don't know. It's so funny to me. But I did really have a lot of fun. This is Scarlett Johansson's nose. I remember I drew it like from memory one time, kind of, and I almost drew a girl that looked like her, and I was very proud of myself that I could even almost do that. But soon after, it became completely intimidating to me to draw celebrities, and now I'm falling back into like where I want to draw celebrities. I do appreciate this, expansion in things I'm already familiar with, but I do want to start focusing on some other stuff. So I'm hoping I find the energy to draw again so that I am able to work on with props and environments and all these things. It's important when you're deciding to do studies that taking steps, taking it easy, and not being hard on yourself are the most important things. If you simplify your steps or try to repeat them in a process that works for you, that's what allows really easy workflow and also allows your studies to be better. Remember to also observe what you do after the study, look back at your reference, and depending on what your goal is, right? If you set a goal initially, remember to look back at your reference so that you're able to achieve that. And if your goal is something else, make sure that you keep that in mind as well. Like for me, it was not really about the accuracy of the nose in every single image, but more about if I am able to communicate all the planes of the nose in a simplified style. And I think I was able to achieve that goal. I didn't feel like I had simplified the noses too much to a point where I was losing effective communication and I needed to add detail back. This is another Zendaya study, by the way. And yeah, so I was satisfied with myself and my studies, and I actually had a good time, which has been really hard lately because now we're out of the tutorial portion and we're going to just be talking, but before we need to. So I've been really stressed and down on myself, even though I don't want to be. Like, recording this took a long time, and I was deciding between another video that I want to do and this one, but that one would have taken way too much energy and effort out of me. So I'm recording this on Friday instead of before like I wanted to. But at the end of it, I had a good time. I've really not been drawing as much as I want to, and I think that's something I have to pick back up. I'm also trying to manage like doing crochet because I started to really love it, and so I'm trying to manage doing crochet and doing art at the same time. And I almost feel like, I'm still in that I'm not doing it right, I'm missing something mindsets, and it's so hard to get out from there. So sometimes that like paralyzes me and I end up not making any choice. But I did actually do a few drawings this week that were just like for fun and like not like related to boosting myself or anything. And that's also what I want to do. I'm not at a point where I'm like, well, everything I make is for YouTube and so it's training, because like I purposely no like like I know that everything I do is for YouTube, because I'm not making anything for like creation and social media in any other aspect. So I'm not like stressed like that. It's just so weird to describe. I think that I want to keep drawing and start doing it more like freely and loving it and everything uh, again. But for some reason, every single time I think about it, I feel like I get just like super drained by something and it blocks me. So doing this week was really fun because it felt like a relaxing way to use my tablet again. I literally never use my tablet, and I think I'm gonna try to use my tablet for these wallpaper illustrations that I want to do. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like getting ideas again, and now it's all about the energy. So I always have so much ideas, and now the energy has to match. Anyway, we are coming to a close of this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and for all your support. If you like this video, please leave a like and let me know. I'm gonna put this in the comments too, but let me know if you have difficulty drawing noses, and if it's not noses, what is the other like facial feature that you have the most difficulty drawing. Right now it's also lips. I need to do lip studies, but every time I do them, it's not simplified in the way that it like actually would be if I drew a face. It ends up being way more complicated, and I end up not being able to translate it. So that's another thing I need to work on, but I want to focus on props and stuff as work first. Just so I can get some sort of skill level with it instead of just being a complete beginner, you know? But yeah. I was actually supposed to do what's a multiple of 6? The 24, I think, but I ended up doing 22 because I think some of my reference photos were just too samey. So I was like, never mind. So bye, love you. Thank you so much for watching.